You know that moment. The one where your phone lights up, your heart jumps for half a second, and then it's not them. And you hate how fast your body noticed. Or maybe it's later than you want to admit. You're lying in bed replaying the last conversation, hearing every cold sentence again, every pause, every part where they sounded so calm while you were quietly breaking apart. And the room feels too quiet, too still, too honest. And in your head it's the same questions. Why did they pull away so fast? Did I mean anything real to them? If I give them space, will they forget me? If I reach out, will I push them further? Am I supposed to fight for this? Or finally let it go? Here's the truth nobody tells you. Avoidants do not come back because you proved your love harder. They come back, if they come back at all, when the pressure cycle ends and the connection no longer feels like a threat to their nervous system. So no, you're not crazy for caring. And no, this is not proof that you were too much. A lot of people standing exactly where you're standing mistake distance for indifference, when beneath the surface it's often fear, overwhelm, and old patterns running the whole show. By the end of this video, you're going to understand what actually makes an avoidant retreat, why chasing almost always backfires, and the one shift that gives reconnection its only real chance. Let's get into it. The mindset reframe. Most people believe that when an avoidant pulls away, the answer is to show more love, send the long text, explain yourself better, stay more available, and prove you're not giving up. But the real truth is that the more intensity an overwhelmed avoidant feels, the more their nervous system reads the relationship as pressure instead of safety. That's the part most couples miss. Your partner's nervous system is reading you before their mind can explain what's happening. So what looks like indifference is often dysregulation. What looks like I don't care is sometimes I don't know how to stay connected without feeling swallowed. And honestly, this is where people get hurt twice. First by the distance itself. Then by misunderstanding what the distance means. Most couples think the problem is love, but a lot of the time the real problem is emotional safety. When safety leaves a relationship, love doesn't always disappear. It goes underground. That's why trying harder can make things worse, because this is not about effort alone. Not more texting, not better wording, not one last perfect conversation, but a shift in emotional energy that tells the other person, you are not being cornered here. Attachment science has been pointing at this for years. When one person pursues harder and the other withdraws, both people usually care more than they look like they do. One reaches for closeness to feel safe. The other reaches for distance to feel safe. Same longing, different strategy. So if you want any chance of real repair, you have to stop asking, how do I make them miss me? And start asking, what makes connection feel safe enough to return to? Because that is the question that changes everything. 1. Stop making contact the goal. Here's the part no one talks about. Most couples think getting the avoidant to text back is the win. It isn't. Most people in relationships become obsessed with the response, the reply, the breadcrumb, the sign. Because when you feel someone drifting, your mind starts believing contact equals connection. But the deeper truth is this. An avoidant can reply and still be emotionally gone. They can come back physically while staying completely withdrawn beneath the surface. Because what their nervous system is protecting is not the conversation. It's the vulnerability the conversation might demand. So if your whole energy says, please respond so I can calm down, They feel the pressure, even if your words look polite. Their system hears obligation, expectation, emotional debt. And somewhere inside, the thought is, if I open this door, I'm going to get pulled into something I can't manage. You can hear the difference in real life. The disconnecting version sounds like this. Can you just tell me where you stand? I deserve that much after everything. The connecting version sounds like this. I'm not going to force a conversation you're not ready for. If you ever want to talk honestly, I'm open. One is about extracting reassurance. The other is about holding presence without pressure. And when you do that, the walls between you start to come down, without either of you having to say a word. 2. Give space without turning it into a strategy. This is where it gets really interesting. Most couples here give them space and secretly turn it into a tactic. They back up physically while leaning in emotionally even harder. You know what that looks like. No message for 3 days, but you're checking their story, watching their following, rewriting imaginary replies in your head. Your body is still chasing, even if your thumbs are not. And avoidants feel that. Maybe not consciously, but relationally, yes. The deeper truth is that real space is not silence used as manipulation. It's emotional non-pursuit. It's releasing the invisible hook. It's no longer standing at the edge of the relationship saying, I'm backing off, but only so you'll come closer. Not playing hard to get. Not disappearing to punish them. Not pretending you're healed. But genuinely stepping out of the cycle. Because when someone with avoidant patterns feels watched, managed, or emotionally cornered, distance becomes armor. Like scar tissue after too many painful touches. But when the pressure actually drops, something different can happen. Their system gets enough room to feel what constant activation was drowning out. And sometimes the unspoken thought becomes, wait, they're not pulling on me right now. I can breathe. I can actually feel what this meant. The disconnecting version says, fine, take your space. I won't bother you anymore. The connecting version says, I'm stepping back because I respect both of us. Not to punish you, not to provoke you, just to stop forcing what can't be forced. That shift matters. Because that's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a trap into one that feels breathable again. 3. Become someone they don't have to defend against. And this is the one most couples never figure out. Most couples focus on getting their avoidant ex to lower their walls. But here's the real move. Become someone those walls are no longer needed against. That doesn't mean becoming smaller. It doesn't mean becoming emotionless. And it definitely does not mean abandoning your needs. It means your energy changes, your tone changes, your relationship to yourself changes. Because most people in relationships, when they're hurt, start speaking from protest. Totally understandable. But protest energy often sounds like accusation, urgency, or emotional chasing, even when the words are technically calm. And to an avoidant nervous system, protest can feel like attack. So you stop leading with, "You hurt me, explain yourself, fix this now," and start leading with grounded clarity. Not weak, grounded. You sound less like someone trying to force an outcome, and more like someone telling the truth without losing themselves in the process. That's not a communication hack. That's emotional maturity. It sounds like this. The disconnecting version: you always shut down when things get real. That's why nothing ever works with you. The connecting version: I felt hurt by how things ended. I'm not here to fight. I just know I want honesty, mutual effort, and something real. Can you feel that? One message activates defense, the other reveals self-respect. And somewhere in them, even if they say nothing right away, something may register. They're not trying to control me. They're standing in themselves. And that's when your partner stops feeling like a problem to manage and starts feeling like a person to come home to. 4. Let consequences speak where emotion has failed. But here's what nobody explains. Most people keep offering emotional access long after the relationship has stopped being emotionally safe. And then they wonder why nothing changes. Most couples believe endless understanding will finally soften an avoidant partner. But the real truth is that without consequences, unhealthy patterns don't feel costly enough to confront. That's hard to hear. I know, because if you love deeply, your instinct is often to stay available, to keep the door cracked, to keep translating their behavior into pain, so you can keep forgiving what never gets repaired. But love without boundaries becomes permission, and avoidance without consequence becomes a lifestyle. This is not about punishment, not ultimatums, not coldness, not revenge, but self-respect with structure. If someone keeps disappearing, returning, giving just enough connection to keep you hooked, then leaving again when closeness becomes real, your job is not to understand that forever. Your job is to stop participating in the cycle. The disconnecting version says, I know you're confused, and I'll be here whenever you figure it out. The connecting version says, I care about you, but I'm not available for inconsistency anymore. If there's ever clarity and real intention, that's different.